Okay, welcome back everyone. So we left off with our configurator able to generate some cards, and let's just do a kind of get back to where we were. So if I click generate on those 4 modules, this is exactly where we left it off in the last video. Okay, so we have our 4 modules, and obviously we would consider this kind of incomplete because if we, let's say, add some more modules here, there's no contingency for the next page. So let's add 8 more. I won't worry about changing the base units or anything like that. So let's just hit generate. Okay, and obviously here we're going to have, once we get past 11 modules, it's going to run off of the plot frame, off of the page. So once we generate past 11 modules, we need to go to the next page and then continue that cycle from there. So let's take a look at that. So we'll go back to our designer, and if we take a look, of course we have our macro typicals that we made. We have one for our CPU, one for our cards, and then we have our typical group where we combine those. Let's look at the PLC card macro typical within the typical group for the rack. We don't need to worry about the CPU. That one will stay the same for now. And let's first look at the page property. Okay, so let's take a look at page name. Obviously right now it's hard coded in as 1, so this is something we'll need to change. One thing I like to do when I'm working in eBUILD is sometimes test out or map out my formulas in Excel, because when we're typing in formulas in eBUILD, we don't really see the result immediately. We see it once we generate the schematic and we see things on a page. So sometimes just to test out the math portion of certain things, I'll handle it in Excel, right? For the first page, this really isn't necessary because if the module is 0 through 10 or less than 11, it will just go on page 1. For the remaining pages, I have this logic here. We're going to take the index of the card, divide it by what is G2, the maximum per page. Because on the other pages, it's not going to have the CPU, so we can fit more modules. On our first page, we can fit up to 12 modules, which is 0 through index 10. Actually, 11 modules, sorry. And then we need to add 2 conditions. So here we have the format of the if statement. Okay, if you go back here, we look at page position modulus. We don't have the modulus operator in eBUILD, so when we get to the x-coordinate formula, we're going to have to rely on the manual way of doing a modulus, which is this here. Okay, so let's go into eBUILD real quick. Move this out of the way. Okay, so we're going to change this page name formula. We're going to open the editor. And then I want a condition, so equals if. Hit Control Space to see the available parameters or variables here. We're going to use the internal index instance index here. If that is less than 11, so module 0 through 10, then it's just going to be page 1. You can add a space there to indent it. Else index minus 11 close parentheses divided by 15 plus 2. We need 1 more parentheses. So what's with the minus 11? We need to reset our indexes back to 0 once we go off of the first page. And we can kind of visualize this in our Excel document. Look at the dynamic tab here on the page numbers. Basically, we have the same thing in an Excel format. Yeah, so we're basically resetting the cycle of instances 0 through 15 on all the subsequent pages. That's why we're minusing off 11, because we have 11 indexes on the first page, right? Okay, so that handles the page naming. Let's go ahead and regenerate just to test that part of it. Okay, Okay, so here you'll see that it generates a second page. Obviously, we haven't fixed the positioning formula. One thing that you'll notice is if you go back to the formula here, we don't have an end diff. That is, sometimes it'll allow you to execute your formula without the end diff, but it is good practice to go ahead and put that there. So I'll add that back in. Okay, so let's go ahead and save that. Okay, so now let's look at our X core formula in eBuild. We're going to modify this. I'm going to go ahead and archive this with a block comment. And sometimes I'll do this just to document the old formula. I'll just put another old formula below. Okay, now let's build in our new formula, right? So the first thing is we need a condition for the first modules on the first page, what's the condition? If the index is less than 11. So equals if index is less than 11, space, I'll do a space to add that indent. Then 128 plus, this is the old formula here, right? We're going to take that, plug it in there. And then we have our else. I'm going to add a comment. Starting position per page in millimeters. 28. Let's add another comment. Add the spacing per instance. Plus another comment. First determine the page position 0 through 14. The 15 in the formula is max per page. We remove 11. You'll see this in a moment. Let's reword that. We subtract 11 to reset the indexes starting at 0 on each subsequent page. Hopefully my spelling is correct there. Okay, we're going to open the parentheses, open another parentheses, index minus 11, minus 3 parentheses, open 3 parentheses, minus 11, close parentheses, divided by 15, close parentheses, multiplied by 15, close parentheses down here. So this is a manual way of doing a modulus with integer division, right? Now we need to multiply that spacing in millimeters by 24. Okay, this works. We'll just get rid of the old formula. We can see that here. We broke it out. We can test it. So if you see your page position using the eBuild formula for the first, let's look at the dynamic tab because this combines those conditions. For the first 11 modules, so index 0 through 10, the page position is 0 through 10. For all the subsequent modules, it's 0 through 14 because we can fit 14 cards on each module. And that's basically the formula that we just wrote into eBuild, right? This is the modulus way of doing it. So if you want to add a comment for that, we can basically denote that index mod 15 using integer math. Okay, let's test it out. Okay, so yep, we have our first page just like before, and now our second page, we could see that the card is now placed over here on the starting position of 28 millimeters in. which is what exactly we expected, right? Oops, sorry, my dimension line is not perfect, but okay, you get the picture there. All right, so let's add in a few more modules just to verify that all the spacing is going to work for the remaining modules on this page. And then we'll add a ton of them and make sure that it goes to a third page, no problem, okay? Let's add even more. Obviously, I'm ignoring any limit that this CPU has for cards, so don't critique me for that, please. Okay, now we have a ton of cards here, and it's going to generate all these pages. There you go. There you go. Okay, so let's delete. Well, that's fine. We'll leave it the way it is. What else do we need to do? We need to add our multi-line stuff, right? We have our multi-line representations of these modules. Remember from our last video. Oh, that's the overview. Sorry, here's your multi-line schematic. So we need to add those in. So let's do that. Let's go back to our macro typical for PLC card. And let's add in, oops, yeah, it'd be helpful if I had my macro navigator open. Let's add a page template for our multi-line schematic. Let's kind of clean some stuff up here. That should be on the bottom. And then let's look at our structure. So this will always be generated. Here, let's change the structures here. So this will be K1, location is going to be UC1, document type EFS1, and then the page, we need a configuration variable for that, which we already have, equals page name. That is inherited from the one above it. Technically, you could leave that, but since we're redefining a new page, it's not a bad idea to fill it in like that. Page description, we can make some logic here. So PLC space, control space to see the available variables. That's the rack number, so let's add the text. Rack, we need to add a plus. Let's open the formula editor to see this better. That's the rack number plus the word slot with the space before and after, plus the slot number, plus a space. We want another space, plus card type. That'll be your digital input or digital outputs, right? Okay, so that's a nice little fancy page description. So that's always generated. Now we need our circuit macros here. So we have our digital input macro and our digital output macro. It looks like I don't know why it added. Oh, yep, sorry, I had too many things highlighted there. Let me highlight a bunch of those and delete them real quick. Or really, I can just delete only the things I don't need. So I only need the variant C's. So let's highlight variant A and B respectively and delete them because we already have those from our last video. So if you remember in the last video, for these overview modules, it matters about the base unit type because they have a different representation if it's a white or a gray. For these multi-lines, we don't care about that. Now let's preview this. This is our digital. It's our digital input, right? Yeah, this is the digital output. Okay, so for our digital input, let's make a dependency equals card type equals digital input. Space is optional there. And this one's obviously for our digital output. Okay, and then the DT. We should already have, let's look at the other ones, make sure that those are linked. Yes. So for the DT, this is simply just equals DT for both inputs and outputs. That's the only variable we need for those because they're not the main function. So the fact that it's linked to the main function, it will be associated to that device by means of that DT, right? The only fancy thing we'll need is our page name. So we need to manage that in the typical group. PLC card. So right now we need to change that. If you go back over here, so what we can do, our multi-line page here can't use the same page name variable because that has a whole different logic for our overview pages, right? We saw that formula earlier. So if we have a formula for index, we can use, or a configuration variable for index, we can use that. Also slot perhaps can be used, or we can just make one called index. Change that to an integer. Let's go back to our multi-line template and the page name. Remember, the first index is 0. So we can make this just index plus 1. And then let's go to the typical group. And let's link index to the internal variable of index. Now let's regenerate. And I expect to have a bunch of multi-line pages. Now we have a new document type, EFS1, and we have a bunch of modules. The DT should all be linked. Should have a cross-reference back to the overview. And of course you can use your PLC navigator with the rack view. And of course you can address everything. Get all your nice addresses. Yeah, so that's kind of the whole methodology. On one of my previous uploads, I put the eBUILD formula helper Excel sheet. Perhaps I can find a way to attach this one as well to the eParts Exchange. And yeah, let's pull that up real quick. So this is where I've been uploading them to the eParts Exchange, courtesy of our friends Brendan Fritz and Kai Hennings. Thank you guys for hosting this. Yeah, definitely go check out the channel Eplan in a nutshell. I want to give a shout out to Kai Hennings. A lot of great content on his channel as well, so check that out. You probably already know that. So yeah, this is the completed version I did a while ago. Some of the formulas may look a little different, or the configuration variables may have different naming, but it's really the same. It's pretty much the same exact thing. So let me find a way and I'll upload that Excel sheet there as well. But in this you'll find, I'm trying to show you the files that are there, but in here you have the template project, you have the completed library, you have the macro project and the parts. So you should have everything you need to as a reference, right? Also, there's this eBUILD NFPA inch configurator. I plan on doing a video in the future showing how you can do NFPA style projects with eBUILD, because that does require some script typicals and things like that. But yeah, I'd appreciate you guys downloading that, leaving a good review on the eParts Exchange. Of course, like, comment, subscribe, and share, and all that good stuff. Thank you very much.